Hello, everyone. So today, as promised, we are talking about Hollynn. Hollynn Snapp. Is that how you pronounce her name? Sorry,
Hollynn.
Hollynn.
Hollynn. That's
Okay.
right. Mhm.
And we have with us Hollynn's foster mom, who's come to tell us about not only about Hollynn, but all the information regarding how you can help with the case. Sorry about that. How you can help with the case. How you can help uh, with flyers. If you're in Tennessee, flyer distribution. Um, so Leslie, first of all, if you tell us your relationship and that with Hollynn, and we'll
Okay.
start from there.
Okay. About a little over 11 years ago now, Hollynn, my husband and I were foster parents for several years, and about 2 years into it, we accepted a placement of Hollynn and her little sister. And they lived with us on and off for about a year. During that time, they went to three different possible adoptive placements. And finally, her little sister went back to her dad, and Hollynn was adopted to or by Heather and Stephen Snapp, who are her adopted parents, and that's how I'll refer to them throughout the rest of the interview as her adoptive parents. Throughout that, even though Hollynn was adopted, we became fast friends with Heather and Stephen, my husband and I, and our family. We would spend a lot of Friday nights together at another foster parent's house, just hanging out, having fun, and we tried to attend, as many of Hollynn's birthday parties and choral presentations that she did, just different things that she did throughout her life. We've stayed in touch with her probably for the last year before she went missing. Hollynn and I spoke 2 or 3 times a week on Messenger, and she would call, and we'd go out to eat, things like that, and shop. Just things like that to try to stay in her life and try to, you know, help Heather and Stephen, who were raising her too. And yeah, just she's always been a part of our family.
So this is Hollynn's missing poster. Uh, if anybody's seen her, these are the characteristics you're looking out for. So 19 years old. I'm guessing that's wrong now, isn't it?
Right. Actually, she will be 21 on Sunday. August 24th is her birthday.
Oh, so she'll be 21 this Sunday.
Yes.
She's 110 pounds, 4'8", brown hair, hazel blue eyes. She's got tattoo on her right arm and a pyramid. That's a pyramid with an eye and a circle. She was last seen. Now I've got another date for this. 15th of October 2023 in Kingsport in the Bell Ridge Drive area.
Right.
But I've got a different date to that. Is that the confirmed date or?
The the last date that she spoke to her mother was October 5th of 2023. So that's kind of the date that we're sticking with because people in and around the case are just not able to confirm the last day that they saw her. So we're just staying with the date that her mother, she last messaged her adopted mother, Heather. And that's probably an earlier flyer, but she probably weighed about 80 or 90 pounds the last time her mom saw her, which was a little bit after her birthday of 2023.
Yeah, if you have any info. Oh, this is 1 second. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of Hollynn, contact Cullivan County Sheriff's Office on 423-279-7330 or Tennessee Bureau of Investigations (TBI) at 1-800 TBI find. And also in the chat, there is the private investigator's number, who is Steve Fisher.
Fisher, yes.
Yeah, it's just the way it's spelled, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have his Facebook. This everything's everywhere on here. There we go. Yeah, I do have his Facebook somewhere, but so if we look through here as well. So you say that you was in regular contact with her.
I was in regular
Did she say to you anything about like a new group of friends that she was hanging around with, or anything like that? Like anything that was unusual to like her norm?
Hollynn started messaging me on the night of September 27th. I only remember that because that's my anniversary and my birthday's the next day on the 28th. So I talked to her until about 4:30 that morning, and Hollynn was part of an outpatient rehab in Kingsport, Tennessee called Creekside. And Hollynn was hopeful to go inpatient at Creekside, but in order to do that, she had to be admitted through the emergency room, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So she had showed up at her mom's house, and her mom, Heather, said, she needed to go inpatient at Creekside. So a family member drove her to the hospital, and Hollynn had been there all day long on the 27th. And she started messaging me that night and asking me if I would come get her. And sorry, this always chokes me up a little bit. So I reached out to Heather and Steven, and they said, no, that we're showing her tough love. She needs to do this. She needs to go inpatient, which I fully agree with. She did need to go inpatient. It's just all the what ifs. What if I had went and gotten her, but I didn't. I just stayed on the phone with her until about 4:30 that morning. And then apparently from there, someone came and got her from the hospital and took her to another relative's house, a biological relative's house, because she was staying with a biological aunt before she did all of this. She went to that biological aunt's house. They had an argument, and I suppose that led to Hollynn going more into addiction. And so from there, a neighbor of her biological relative took her to the home of Steve Linkus. Steve Linkus is, I'm not sure how tall. I know he weighs about 250 pounds. He's about 6 foot tall, I think. And he's 50, I guess now he would be 53 years old. Lives in mommy's basement, and it was told to Hollynn that she was going there to party. I think going there to party looked different to Hollynn than what Steve Linkus had in mind. Hollynn probably thought she was going to smoke a little bit of marijuana, and she probably thought that she was, going to maybe do some more drugs, but then she thought that she would get to leave, if that is Steve Linkus on the page. So according to witnesses, this person took her to that house. There was some kind of disagreement, and the fallout of that disagreement was that Steve Linkus beat Hollynn beyond recognition and beyond comprehension. She could not form sentences. She was incoherent. And several people saw her in that state and never did anything. They never called the police. They never called, they could have called and said the house was on fire anonymously. Somebody could have gone to the house and looked. But they never did anything.
Yeah, well, see, that's actually something, because that's something that really got to me, because if you see here, look, this is from, hang on, my laptop's being a bit slow. Yeah, there we go. see here, look, this is from an article. Well, this is actually from a Facebook group where someone had wrote it, but I read it in an article, and there was no mention of police being called or anything. And I was like, hang on, a 50-year-old man beat a teenager so bad that she like 'cause it was saying that she couldn't move about, she couldn't get her words out, and things like that in the article. And I'm like, so you can sit in, you can tell the news, and you can tell people like that, but you couldn't pick up the phone there and then and call the police.
Exactly. I mean, my thoughts are they could have even gotten her phone. They knew her well enough to know where she came from. They could have went to that relative's house and said, "Hey, something awful's happened. You need to get in touch with her adoptive family, get them to go out there." I feel like there's several ways that that could have been done. They could have even called in a animal cruelty case, and somebody would have gone out there. Um, but they chose to do nothing, and they chose to
Yeah,
do nothing for several days. They did nothing. They really only ever spoke whenever our PI was able to narrow down who they were and talk to them personally. And Sullivan County Sheriff's Office talked to them as well, but they never came forward at all. They just, when they were questioned, they told what they knew, some of what they knew. They've not told all of what they know in the case.
yeah.
So
Well,
it is, I mean, and most
yeah,
of
that
those,
really bothered me. That did. 'Cause-
yeah,
Sorry, say again.
most of those people, I've done mom research. Most of those people have children of their own. Most of those people have grandchildren of their own. So they know what it would be like to lose someone that they love, or to not be able to find someone that they love, and to know that they were beaten. It's just unconscionable that they would leave that house without her, or without letting somebody know what happened to her.
Well, like we said, the contact number is on the flyer. This is the PI who the family are working with. So if you have any information, contact the private investigator. Going into chat now. So, is there anything that you do like memorial things, like a day where you all get together, and remember Hollynn, have a, like some people say, a prayer, like just a meet up outdoors where you can, in the middle of a park where there's a gazebo, where there's a chance to not only, um, gain interest in the case or spread awareness, but a chance for you to get together yourselves, like, do you know what I mean? Do you do
Sure.
anything like that?
Yes. We did have a prayer vigil. The last one we had was near Christmas. We Her birthday is always difficult because her adopted mom just wants to, spend that day by herself, and do the things she needs to do to cope to get through that day. And
Yeah.
it's and so anyways, we have gotten together several times for prayer vigils and candlelight vigils. And her mother and I have gone through the area of Bell Ridge and Kingsport and just put flyers anywhere on anything, anytime we could. We also I team up with Layla Santinello's mother. Layla is another girl who went missing about 100 days before Hollynn went missing, from the same area of Kings, about 5 miles away from where Hollynn went missing. Um, and we go and put out flyers and talk to people. We've went through with the Christmas parade and handed out flyers, and just try to be a presence on Facebook, and social media to get Hollynn's name out there, because I feel like no matter how many times we're on the news or do anything, a lot of people just don't see that. I had somebody last week just say to me, "Oh, I didn't even know," and I don't know how that happens either. We do have a billboard in Kingsport in a very prominent area. A lot of people haven't seen that. We actually have two. They haven't seen those. Um, So I think a lot of that is just that people just kind of stay to themselves, and we're inundated with news all the time. So we try to push that away a little bit, I think. So it makes it hard. But we do have some things in the works for October, around October 5th, when we believe that she disappeared, that we'll be working on to try to get some of those things going. But as far as her birthday, I just plan to, remember her on my own. I will do a Facebook post in my Facebook group, Hope for Hollynn. I'll probably do a live in there.
Let me get that for you, Will.
Okay. And just, talk about her and all the things about her that I need to put out there.
One second, I'm just trying to
You are fine.
share group. I don't use Facebook, you see, I've only recently come back to it.
Yeah,
this is the Facebook group for you guys. That's the Facebook group.
Yes, it's just Hope for Hollynn.
So, regarding the October get together, I think you were talking about. Is there anything promoting it or anything like that? Because if there isn't, if you send me the details to it, I can get you something made up for you to promote on social media and things like that. Because people in the local area might turn up then, and
yeah, that would be great if you would do that. That'd be really good. That'd be one less thing I have to do. So that would be good. Then I can promote that more. I'm not even sure. I haven't even looked. It's hard to think ahead. Sometimes, yeah, October 5th is a Sunday this year, so it should. October 5th will definitely be the date. I think that would be good. So, hopefully, a lot of people could come to it. But
one thing that I think might be interesting here, you know, when you do hold something like a get together like that, do the people that were at this get together when she went missing, do any of them turn up?
At the very first one we had, one of the women involved showed up later. She didn't. I don't think she realized we would all still be there. She showed up later. She didn't speak to any of us, but she was there mostly for Layla, because we did it with the Santinellos. We did it with Jennifer Santinello. She was mostly there for Layla, but and that's something about the case. The girls, as far as we know, did not know each other at all, but they hung out with a lot of the same people, and they knew the same crowds. We have nothing to think that the cases are related at all, but they are very intertwined. I think I've always thought that whenever we find one of the girls, that will help unravel the other case for the other girl. So just because there's just way too many people involved that know both girls. So other than that, I'm not aware if anyone.
So I just want to make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to make this clear to everyone in the chat. She's not saying that these cases are connected. What she's saying is that she believes that because of their inner circles being similar and things like that, that once one's found, it might lead to the other. She's not saying that someone did this to both girls. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, that is correct. I think that there's enough known in Layla's case to know that the person or people
Hello?
responsible. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Frank? I'm sorry. I can hear you.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's because yeah, it's something on my side. Sorry.
That's okay. Um,
Yeah, you're fine. It was something on my side. I think because I
okay.
got Facebook up and because it's not connected to StreamYard, it
Oh, okay. I can't hear you now if you're talking. Are you there?
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. I
That's
don't.
okay. That's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
I remembered what I was saying. I was saying that I think that there's enough known in both cases to know that whatever's happened to each girl is definitely separate, but a lot of the same people know what has happened to both girls, I feel.
So a lot of the same people are the ones that have given statements. A lot of the same people were around at the time. I've got you.
Right. Correct.
So,
So just
so
takes
it's
that
not
one.
necessarily. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It just takes that one person to throw a conscience to maybe tell us what's happened to even just one of the girls would be good.
Yep.
I see you have Hollynn's pictures up there. To know
Yeah.
Hollynn is, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mm-mm. No, no, go on.
Okay. I was just gonna say to know Hollynn, she's so funny and quirky and she's very small. That's one of the things about her is that she's strikingly small. I mean, 4'8", 4'9". She's about the size of my 11-year-old daughter. So you wouldn't know necessarily right off that she's 21. She does have a low IQ of about 64. So that puts her in the mindset of about a 10 or 11-year-old. So whenever I say that, going to party with somebody meant different things to Hollynn than what it meant to 52-year-old Steve Linkus. That is what I mean. She is impulsive and will jump from one thing to the next. And if it sounds like a good idea and if people are encouraging her, then she will do that. And she's very naive to the fact that people would want to harm her. Um, she has a very country accent and she uses a lot of cliches, just funny stuff. Our family still says a lot of the things that she says all the time. One time, her daughter and my daughter, sorry, and Hollynn were on a walk, and Hollynn saw a squirrel, and she said, "I want to get at that squirrel, but I know you won't let me." Real country. We're like, "No, do not chase the squirrel." But that's how she is. If she sees something she wants to touch it, she's going to do it. So I think that is just a prime example of how
Well,
Hollynn
she sounds like my moderator.
is.
She sounds like she's very country. She's
Yeah.
4'8".
Oh, yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah,
But
she's from Kentucky though.
oh, okay. So she has every right to be country then. That's funny. Um, but Hollynn has, just a great outgoing personality and she's not shy about a lot of things and just very kind of outspoken a little bit. And an example of that is Hollynn had tried a drug in July before she went missing, and she texted me and she said, "Miss Leslie, I tried this drug." I immediately called her because she just thought that was something to brag about, and I called her and I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, ma'am, no, ma'am, you're not doing this." And apparently my talk wasn't good enough, but Hollynn had a lot of trauma as a child, and I know that she was trying to cope with all of that, and cope with being out of the home that she was raised in. Um, when the closer Hollynn got to 18, the more that she wanted to be independent and thought that 18 meant that you were an adult and that you could do anything you wanted to do. So that led to her being at a biological aunt's house from about March to September, with some times in there that she left the home. So that those days are very sad to me because I wish I had known a little bit more of what was going on. Maybe I could have helped in some way, but she always
gave more advice.
What? I'm sorry.
They gave more advice to her over that period, and that I know what you mean.
Yeah, I wish I wish I had done that, but anyway, during that time, I spoke about earlier that Hollynn went missing, and I last spoke to her on the 27th. We had some life happenings, and my daughter got married on the 30th of September, and so days passed where I realized I hadn't heard from Hollynn, and I was like, "That's strange. I need to get up with her mom and see what's going on with her." And then her mom posted on Facebook, "Has anyone seen Hollynn?" And I was like, "What?" Immediately, like, what's going on? What's going on? We tried to contact Kingsport City Police Department because that is where she went missing from, was Kingsport City. And Heather called them. They put her off. She did speak to one detective. He was going on vacation. I called the next couple of days. I think we called a total of 5 times. And I finally said, "Heather, we need to go down there." And so I called because it is a far drive for both of us to go there. I called down there and I said, "We're going to come down there. We want to file a missing persons report. What do we need to do?" And they said, "There's no one here to take that report." So Heather came to my house and we went to Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and talked to them. And at first, understandably, they were like, "Well, she's on drugs. She'll come back. She's just been, she hasn't been gone that long." And although at this point it was almost 2 weeks since Heather had last talked to her, and Heather had a close family member pass away during that time, and you just don't realize the days slip by. So it wasn't until October 22nd that we got to file that missing persons report after being put off for several days by the Kingsport City Police Department. And so we, went then and filed that. And even then, it was a day or two before they were able to put her in the NamUs and get her with TBI. And they listed her under the Holly Bobo Act as a missing and endangered youth. So it was, a bit of red tape to go through before we could actually file that she was missing. And so I think that gave us, that put us behind the curve. And whenever my husband and I went to put up flyers everywhere, we went down Bell Ridge and put them on stop signs in people's mailboxes at the home where we knew that she was last at, which is 1319 Bell Ridge Drive in Kingsport, Tennessee. And according to everything that we've heard since then, Steve Linkus saw one of those flyers and got scared and went to Georgia, where he was arrested, and then he was in jail for a long time after that. He was arrested on meth charges, and then I believe there was a violation of probation that he served time for. But I really should add it up. He's been in jail so many times since Hollynn has went missing, and it's never been anything to do with Hollynn at all. It's always been drug charges and probation violations. And in fact, now, 2 weekends ago, a friend of ours that helps monitor the case sent Heather and I a message very late at night and said, there's another girl missing from Steve Linkas's home. Actually, it's his mother's home, but we say his home. So this girl went missing from there. I don't really want to say any of the details, but her parents have put on Facebook, has anyone seen her? She's missing from the home of Stephen Linkas. Has anyone talked to her? So the police went to the home, and he was arrested again on an old warrant that he had for his arrest. And as far as I know, he's still in jail. He was in jail here in Sullivan County for several days, and then he was extradited to Georgia, back to Bartow County in Georgia, where he was originally arrested. And he's serving out another probation violation there, which could hold him 45 days, but probably won't hold him for long. His mother always bails him out. If you go on Hope for Hollynn, or if you can go on Stephen Fisher's SF Investigates page, there are jailhouse phone calls from Steve Linkas to his mother, where he's very much guiding her and telling her what to say and what to do. And he keeps saying, they're trying to put this on me, Mom, about Hollynn. And he's very much a whiny baby on there to his mother.
So you say the phone calls are on Steve Fisher's, the private investigator's Facebook?
Yes, I believe they're on his. I know that they're on the Hope for Hollynn, and I believe that's where I copied them from. But yeah, they're on there. That would be very interesting for your listeners or your followers to listen to, because he does give details in there, although they're probably very coded, but you can tell that he's stringing his mom along and telling her what to tell the police and what she needs to do while he's in jail. But she always bails him out. So I'm sure that she will bail him out this time if that's possible. But he always serves good time. Okay, they are on his Facebook. Stephen Snapp's watching this, and he just told me that. That's good. That's Hollynn's adopted dad, Stephen Snapp. Another Stephen, but a good Stephen in this instance for sure. There's lots of Stevens in this whole messed up situation. But those are on there, and hopefully your followers will want to go and listen to those. Maybe they'll glean something from it that we didn't hear the first time, or understand something more that we didn't understand when we've listened to them. That would be very good.
Well, I know someone will be interested in that.
Yeah.
Remember I told you there's a former deputy that works with us.
Yeah.
Well, I say works with us, like he's basically just he's waiting to get back out there himself to work cases again. And while he's doing so, he's been helping me with my channel, like so, but he'd definitely be interested in listening to them.
Yeah, that would be good. I know that he mentioned several roads in one of the conversations, which would be interesting. I have not been able to figure out where they are and what exactly he's talking about. So it would be really good I think we have kind of an idea, but not much. It's a very big area that he's talking about. So maybe if somebody could help us narrow it down, that would be really, really good.
Yeah, we could do. We could look it up on Google Maps and see if these, like, how far apart these roads are, and things like that. I mean, if the roads are all like near each other, and they're not far from his mother's. Maybe that could be an area of interest for you guys to go out and do a search or do a memorial walk along them. You know,
Yeah.
put pressure on him that way by being on his doorstep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be very good. I wish, he's a father, he's a grandfather. I wish that he could find some. Obviously, he's evil, and there's probably no him finding any peace of conscience. But the torture has gone on long enough. We're all just ridiculously wanting to find her, and it's just so hard to not know where someone you love is. I mean, as much as I love her, I can't imagine being Heather and Steven. I mean, they only had her in the home, almost a year, and they had her in their home for several years, and the pain is just there every minute of the day. So it's hard, and I can't imagine what they're going through either, as well as other people who love Hollynn. Hollynn has so many people who love her. Um, so it's just hard. I wish that he would think about that. I mean, he's always going to be in and out of jail, always. He may as well just spend his life in prison for whatever he's done. It's just a game of cat and mouse at this point, I feel like.
Hi, Leslie. I just wanted to thank you so much for coming up here and sharing with us. It's so appreciated. If you don't mind, I have a few questions, if I could.
Yeah, that's fine.
And for the record, I'm 4'11". Thank you.
Don't think out those few inches.
That's right. Do you remember the police officer that didn't take the report at the city cop's office or the city police department?
I don't. Heather would have that information.
I would love to have that.
Don't know. Yeah, that.
And then,
I don't know it right off the top of my head. I may have it somewhere.
Okay. That's okay. That's a good back burner question then. And also, do you know the officer's name that is investigating this? The lead investigator's name?
Yes, it's Anthony Stevens. Another Steven name in this whole thing. We can't get away from the Steven name.
Okay. And then you said the phone calls that he had were on his Facebook. Gibbo, we need to get a hold of those and review those and see if there's something that maybe somebody could hear that we're not, you know what I'm saying? And then you're also really great at those flyers, so I think you should get on getting those flyers done too. He's a fantastic at making flyers for, awareness and everything. So I appreciate the investigator's name. Does he have any? I guess I could find out his contact information and we could add that to the flyer as well. I think that would be very important to make sure.
The number that Frank gave us to, it's 423-279-7330. That is to Stevens, Detective Stevens.
Okay. I'll have to. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, the number is 423-279-7330.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And, I do know that there is another guy who was recently in Tennessee doing some of the searches for another person. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of him and if he's going to be in Tennessee anytime. And maybe he could also help because he's definitely boots on the ground and he would possibly help me. I'll have to reach out to him.
Who's that Jinx?
The Evil CJ Show.
Who's that Jinx?
He's in Southern Indiana.
Okay. No, I was just checking that it wasn't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know. I was just checking that it wasn't.
I got you.
That would be great. The only issue that we've run in with like doing any searches or anything is that the main search would be on Stephen Lincas's mother's property, and of course we're not going to get permission to search that. But the sheriff's office has searched it with cadaver dogs, and I believe they did some drone mapping too. And we had another YouTuber help us out with some of that, and you know, there've been, I think, several people that want to go there. Um, the interesting thing about it is, and I can't remember the numbers exactly, but here, you know, we have house numbers, and there's a tree that says 1319 to 1323, or 1315 to 1323. So there's a brick house that is his mother's house, and there's several mobile homes on the property. It's not that big of a property, maybe an acre, maybe two. I doubt it's that big. Um, and it's just full of campers and mobile homes and junk cars. Um, there's a garage there. I mean, it's just full of, you know, just, and people live there, sadly. I hate that anybody has to be around him because I hear he's very volatile.
Is it? Is this his property or his mom's? Did you
His
say?
mother's. Yeah, it's his mother's property.
Okay.
So, like if you did a Google search of that property, you could see the tree that has just those numbers on it. And I think that is very much by design, um, because nobody knows what number is what house or what, you know, what living dwelling it is for the numbers. So it's just always very confusing.
Right. Now, is that her only child? Is him?
No, I believe she has other children.
Okay.
I believe she does. I believe he's the baby, though, obviously.
Oh, God. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. What a mess. Well, I was wondering maybe, like, you know, if maybe one of his siblings or one of her other children, you know, could compel her to give permission to search the property, you know, possibly. That's just a long stretch, and it's just an idea. I don't know if that would be something that would be feasible even, unfortunately, but just an idea.
Well, at one point, she was waiting to take a polygraph, but for whatever reason, TBI and Sullivan County decided that it would be more of like a third person, and that the readings wouldn't be correct.
Right, because it's a hearsay situation. Yeah, I understand.
But she was in the home. She was in the home, so it wouldn't be hearsay. Just my point. But
Well, yeah, no, I agree with that too.
Getting anyone else to understand that, and of course now, when he was back out of jail, she was not willing to take the polygraph, so it didn't matter. But I feel like I really wish that would be pursued again because she needs to tell what she knows.
Absolutely. She does need to tell what she knows. You know, she wouldn't want to be in that situation with one of her own children.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It is. It's very much. And when you listen to those phone calls, I hope that'll be helpful. And Frank, I'm sorry I didn't think to tell you about those beforehand, but I think that you'll find some interesting stuff on there, and that you know, you all will find that very interesting to listen to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do want to get a hold of those calls and see for myself, just to, you know, sometimes you can hear things, and I would even love to get a visual, you know, to see how they're interacting as they're answering these questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Body language tells so much.
Mm-hmm. It does. And you know, here's another thing about Steve Linkus. He has never reached out and said, I didn't do this. You know, here's the thing. If I was being accused of something like this, not that I'm accusing him, just that from the facts, Steve Linkus was the last person that Hollynn was with. She sends that in a text to her mother on October 5th. Why wouldn't he say, oh, here's somewhere you may check, or here's somebody you may look into, or, you know, it seems to me that he would reach out to us and say, I had nothing to do with this. But in the 684 days since Hollynn has been gone, he has never, ever, ever reached out to any of us or done that, except to report a post that Stephen Snapp, her adoptive dad, made. And of course, because I'm the moderator of that group, the report just came to me. And of course, I just, you know, declined it, because what we're saying is that the fact is that she was there. at his house. There's no denying that. And from there, where does she go, Steve Linkus? What happens to her? You've given us no alternative to think any different than that you did something with her.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, thank you for coming up, Jinx, unannounced. She's a bit wild. Like, she has control of the StreamYard as well. So.
I'm so sorry. Look, it felt like I was talking to somebody from my neck of the woods, and I really couldn't resist. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm glad you did.
I have to like turn the volume up and down because, like, when Jinx is on, like, I have to turn it down when she talks, and then up for you.
No, I'm so sorry. It's my tablet. I gotta lower my voice. I know I project.
You know what? I can do it here. I don't know why I haven't thought about doing it with you before. Where are you?
Adjust my shit, yo.
It's even. Yeah, it even says Red Boy your name. Yeah. So one thing we do, Leslie, on here is, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to. We ask that the people that come on, like, they speak out, like, to Hollynn. So if Hollynn's out there, like, is doing a message that you want to send to her, and for people, like, then after you've done that, look, then for people that might have information, or to the person who might have done this, to come forward, give information. Is that something that you'd be interested in doing?
Sure, I will do that. To Hollynn, I would say that I hope this is the question that always gets me. That by now you know that I'm not going to give up, and that your mom's not going to give up, and Steven's not giving up, and that we are fighting hard to get you back. It may not seem like it all the time, but I promise you, every day that we think about you and that we're doing something to try to get you back. However, whatever that looks like, we just want you to be at peace. And we absolutely do not think that Hollynn ran away from any of us. She would never do that. She spoke to her mom every day on the phone. And so we would just say that we're not giving up. One time when Hollynn and I were out, I told her that I was going to pray for her every day at 11 a.m. And no matter where she was, she would know that I was praying for her. And I still do that every day at 11 a.m. And I just pray that, that especially on Sunday that we're thinking about you because it's your birthday. And that it's not just us that miss you. We all miss and love you very much. To Steve Linkus, I would say, come talk to us. Come talk to us. Give us an alternative to what has happened to Hollynn besides you doing something to her. Tell us how you have made it through 684 days, getting to see your child, getting to see your grandchildren, child, however many you have, whatever, and not thinking about any of us and not doing the right thing as a human being. Tell us how you've drug your mother into this. Tell us how you've drug people you say you care about into this. Why do all these people say you did this to her? Nobody knows where she is now. We want to know. Time's up. Like, we want to know. And to all the people who know and have not said enough, shame on you. How could you do that to people? You all have kids. Some of you have grandkids. How can you do that to people? How can you live your life? How can you sleep at night except to be on drugs 24/7, which is evidently where a lot of you are. And I just pray that one of you will find a moment of sobriety enough to be able to look deep into your heart and tell us what we need to know to be able to move on from this chapter. Because being in the land of the unknown, which is always what I refer to it as, is one of the hardest things ever. You wake up thinking about Hollynn and where she is and what happened to her. You go to bed thinking about Hollynn and where she is and what happened to her. So I guess I would just say, tell what you know, speak the truth. It's the only thing that's going to set you free from the hell that I hope you're living in. That's all.
Thank you so much, Leslie. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all so much
So,
for doing this interview.
if you're in the replay, I'm going to put it in one last time in the chat. This is the Facebook group, Hollynn's Facebook group. I will put it in the comments. If you're in my Discord, it'll be in the Discord. There's also the private investigators phone number here. Let me just pop that in the chat as well. I'll pop this in the comments as well. It doesn't seem to want to open the comments. Okay, so okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. So it's this is the private investigator's number. The law enforcement and that's number is on the flyer, and I've posted the flyer before. I can post it again if need be. But if you go to the community section, it's just called posts now, isn't it? Yeah, the post section of my channel, somewhere along there is Hollynn's flyer. Leslie, thank you for coming on and telling us about Hollynn and her story.
Jinx, thank you too. I appreciate
No, you're welcome.
you all very much. I appreciate you. I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Absolutely, honey. Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you all for coming in the chat and those on the replay. Please hit the like, help share Hollynn's story, and thank you all for coming. Leslie, thank you.
Thank you.
No, it doesn't want to end. Come on.
I have the same time.
I'm good at it. You know I'm good.